ladies and gentlemen, you know, we always like to have fun here and everything's lighthearted because Michael and I were just two crazy kids. You know?
However,
but there's some serious things going on with this Mike Brown and Eric Garner grand jury decisions. You know, I was up in this air about the whole Mike Brown thing because of the stories changing and okay, we're gonna wait for proof and this and that, you know, because again, we want to be fair,
right,
all the time, regardless if we like it or not, to be fair. Now the grand jury for the Eric Garner absolutely threw me all the way back.
Right.
This was from beginning to end, and in the state of New York, the chokehold is considered illegal.
Right. Absolutely.
It is proven that it was done, and yet and still
they found not enough evidence.
No indictment.
No indictment.
And I'm sick now. And this is where I'm challenged, because as a Puerto Rican, when I start to speak on it, I've been getting, you're not black, you will never understand what we go through. The whites, you know, why are you taking the blacks? So I'm kind of stuck in this middle when I have my opinions, and that's why I try to justify everything by facts.
Yeah.
And, you know, been reading up on the Hidden Colors movie, Booker T. Coleman, Phil, I can't think of his last name, but on the Hidden Colors movie, and he made some great points. He says in a 5-level building, for instance, the first level, you have your business owners, where you put the money back into your business. The second is your politicians. Now you take your money that you've made in the community and you buy your politicians, so you can start getting things made.
Wow.
And that's what he's saying the Caucasian and the rich and the affluent is doing. So then you take the money from buying the politicians, now you build a third floor and you go after the court system and you buy the police department. Now everything goes your way, to the African American way. And then the fourth floor is your media. Right now, you have your Rush Limbaughs, you have your
spin doctors, the ones that spin it.
But the only black ones that we see is Rollins Martin,
Roland Martin,
Don Lemon,
Travis,
but it's
Travis
not,
Smiley.
But they're not on daytime. They're more in the evenings, and you know, not in the prime time spotlights. So he said to effectively win, he's like, protests aren't doing anything. What are you guys doing? Just walking? What is that changing, really?
Right.
Sit-ins, what is that doing, really?
Right.
You have to start the foundation of building it. Jews do it, and their money is turned over 18%. Their money is turned over within their businesses. Asians, I think it said 3 to 8% or something like that. Their money is turned over within their, and that's why they always stay successful. So if you get your business people, which get your education, start your business, put back into the community, that money comes, now you can buy your politicians. Because remember the other day you said everyone can be bought? Buy your politicians. Now they're going to vote the ways you need them to vote.
Right.
Then you go and you buy the police officers and the courts. So now that judge comes in and says, you know what? He don't care where that dollar comes from. Black, white, Hispanic.
It's green.
It's green. So now, yeah, you came with the better offer. You're paying me $100,000. Every case that's about you, you win. And that's what's happening in the white America. They've bought. That's the only explanation now they're saying for these crazy indictments.
Right.
I mean, non-indictments.
Right.
I think there's still level racism.
Absolutely.
I think when a white man can get on the radio program, I was listening to Steve Harvey this morning, not to give him any shout outs because you all are awesome too, Mike and Melinda.
Because we're trying to get on Steve Harvey show too.
But the gentleman said it's not about me as a white man, but I have a daughter-in-law that is African American, and that means my grandson is at risk, and now I'm affected. And he says, for the first time, I feel fear as a white man for my grandson.
And speaking what you just said with that, leading into the Booker T. Coleman statement, it's almost looking like he was doing some underground Black Panther type stuff, meetings. And he said, we have to make the white race extinct.
Wow.
And I didn't understand that at first.
Wow.
And I kept reading and I kept looking into some things, and what he said was, as long as black men keep procreating with white women, that race now becomes black because it's a mixed until that white race is no longer pure and becomes extinct.
Well, you know, that's an old adage that a lot of Europeans used to use in the Middle Ages. You know, say, I don't know if you remember the movie Braveheart.
Yes.
Well, the King of England had this law that was instilled. It was called prima nocta, which in Latin means first night. And basically, the English lords had the right to sleep with the Scottish women who had just gotten married. So basically, if he couldn't justifiably kill the Scottish off, he was going to breed them out.
Right.
So basically, it's the same, the same principles
Same
apply.
concept.
Right.
Yeah, because of us being the, in a lot of people's mind, we being the original people. Anything that that procreates with the original, because of our meddling and because of our our origin, that baby effectively becomes a black child. So basically,
Because the white people made it that way.
I mean, it has a lot of that's a really broad statement, but
No, what I mean is, they've classified anybody mixed with their
the color.
race is now that other color.
So it's not okay. So if a child was to go on a like fill out a form, it's not mixed anymore. It's not.
No,
It's just,
they don't have. They've never had mixed on there. It's been black,
been
white, other.
Yeah, I mean.
So guess what? You just took me out of the black category. You took me out of the white category. I'm just saying whites did it because now when their breed mixed with another, they became taboo. You go. Now the process will start changing because they need the power. They're going to need the power back. I'm telling you, at the end,
They have so many now. Native American. You can be Native American. You can be other. You can be African American. You can be African American. You can be so many things on their scale. But the bottom line is, and not to go back, but I did hear that they are going to try a civil action. And that is really
When it feels like a rush sipping into your soul, stay